Like, and season 2 is up. Those of you that didn't enroll, I'm sorry, you have missed out big time. You scammed yourself. You think they were trying to scam you, but you scammed yourself. Thank you.
So, Boss FM 95.5, Abuja carry this one. Say if you sabi sing, you sabi rap. You dey cook, you sabi cook. You dey chop, you sabi chop. Any kind talent, any which one? All of them. Yeah, time for the Naija Boss Factor idea.
Naija Boss Factor Season 1.
It happened last year when we had 7 finalists vying for the grand prize, M Grand 7 2021 model worth 11.5 million naira.
For the winner, Season 1, Naija Boss Factor, John Idachole!
This year, it is even bigger and better.
My name is Joel Idachole, the winner of Naija Boss Factor Season 1. Those of you that didn't enroll, I'm sorry, you have missed out big time. You scammed yourself. You think they were trying to scam you.
Register for the Naija Boss Factor Season 2 with the sum of 5,500 naira payable to GT Bank account number 0561 094 161. Send payment proof to WhatsApp portal number 0901 625 2525. Go to www.bossfm.ng to complete your registration. Call 0808 237 0000 or 0811 584 1500 for more information. Naija Boss Factor Season 2. Celebrate culture, celebrate life. Terms and conditions apply.
A very good evening to you. Welcome to World Now at 4. I am Peace Ogenegbawe. First, let's talk the headlines. Nigeria commiserates with South Africa. South Africa flood toll rises to 443, dozens still missing. World Bank to cut global growth, boost financing target. And on sport, Arsenal lead raised to sign Osimhen. Now the news in detail. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari says he is saddened and unspeakably devastated by the flood disasters in KwaZulu-Natal province of South Africa that claimed over 443 lives. Reacting to the calamity in Abuja, the Nigeria's capital, the president said he was greatly shocked by the large-scale natural disaster which has caused widespread sufferings and fatalities in a sister country. He explained that the disruption of water and electricity supply, as well as destruction of homes, makes the natural disaster one of the worst in recent memory. While extending his sympathy to the government and people of South Africa, Nigeria's President Buhari urged other African leaders to work together towards developing common and effective strategies for improving emergency management response systems that will help significantly to reduce human and economic impact of natural disasters and impending climate change. A senior official of the National Population Commission, that is NPC, said on Monday that the temporary relocation of people from their residencies to their hometowns during a census is one of the major factors frustrating the exercise in Nigeria. Abimbola Salu Hundeyin, a federal commissioner of the commission, called for the criminalization of census migration to tackle the menace. He made the proposal during an interview with newsmen while giving an update of NPC's preparedness to conduct a national population census next year. Findings showed that 16 years since the exercise was last conducted, Nigeria is scheduled to hold another national census following the approval of the National Council of State. The council, which met on Thursday last week, agreed that the exercise should be conducted between March and April 2023. According to Salihu Denye, who served as NPC chairman between 2019 and 2020, efforts are ongoing to conduct the exercise without any glitches and to ensure every citizen is counted. She briefed that the agency has divided the whole country into small units that can be captured by a pair of enumerators within a specific period. The NPC official, however, stressed the need for the independence of the NPC, like the Independent National Electoral Commission, that is INEC, and others, as well as for people to stay in their homes rather than traveling to their hometowns for the exercise. And in Cross River State, over 463 houses in 3 local government areas of the state have been destroyed by windstorms. Out of the 1,326 households was affected by the effect of the windstorms. Newsmen reported that the affected local government areas were Obudu, Yala, and Ogoja. Godwin Tepiko, the zonal coordinator of the National Emergency Management Agency, that is NEMA South-South, said his team were conducted around the affected areas by the council officials and youth from the communities on Monday. While in Obudu local government area, the team visited the affected communities of Bilbone, Abonkib, Bebuabong, Ekwo, and Okwaruntung. EPICO told correspondents that the assessment tour followed a report from the chairman of Obudu Council area, Boniface Eraye, following the windstorm incident that occurred in April 2022. The disaster affected 503 households and damaged 249 buildings and other households properties in Obudu local government area. Similarly, Tepiko said that the windstorm had occurred in Ogoja local government area on April 5, 2022, affecting Ishibori, Ukele, Ogboje, and Apagba communities. According to him, 337 households were affected by the disaster, while several houses and property were destroyed, including economic trees. News from other parts of Africa comes to your screen when we return. Just stay with us. You're welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. A joint military force from Nigeria, Niger, and Cameroon said on Sunday that it had killed more than 100 Islamic insurgents, including 10 commanders, in the past few weeks, as it intensifies a ground and air offensive in the Lake Chad region. Boko Haram fighters and its splinter, ISWAP State West Africa Province, Islamic, that is ISWAP group, have for more than a decade battled the Nigerian army in a conflict that has sucked its neighboring nations. Multinational Joint Task Force spokesman Colonel Mohammed Dole said troops had ventured deep into enclaves controlled by insurgents in the Lake Chad area and recovered several weapons, food, and illicit drugs. And now to South Africa, where residents face agonizing news of missing loved ones after flood devastates South Africa's KwaZulu-Natal province. At least 443 people have died in floods that have devastated South Africa's KwaZulu-Natal province, according to reports, as rescuers search for dozens of people still missing in the southeastern coastal region. Sihile Zikalala, the province premier, said on Sunday that the death include 2 emergency workers and added that a further 63 people remain unaccounted for. The floodwaters are the strongest to have struck KwaZulu-Natal in recent memory and were triggered by torrential rains that lashed the province last week. The deluge engulfed the region, smashing into the port city of Durban and surrounding areas, pulling with its buildings and people. Most of the casualties were in Durban, and parts of the city have been without water for days. Scores of hospitals and more than 500 schools in the region have also been destroyed. In some of the worst affected areas, some residents face an agonizing wait for the news of missing loved ones amid the destruction, are climbing temperatures, and over an overcast sky. Survivors sought divine solace and temporary restrictions from their misery while observing Easter Sunday. We now move to other parts of the world after this break. Just stay with us.
It happened last year when we had 7 finalists vying for the grand prize, M Grand 7 2021 model worth 11.5 million naira.
For the winner, season 1, Niger Boss Factor, John Idachola.
This year, it is even bigger and better.
My name is Joel Idajile, the winner of Niger Boss Factor Season 1. Those of you that didn't enroll, I'm sorry, you have missed out big time. You scammed yourself. You think they were trying to scam you.
Register for the Niger Boss Factor Season 2 with the sum of 5,500 naira payable to GT Bank account number 0561 094 161. Send payment proof to WhatsApp portal number 0901 625 2525. Go to www.bossfm.ng to complete your registration. Call 0808 237 0000 or 0811 584 1500 for more information. Niger Boss Factor Season 2. Celebrate culture, celebrate life.
You're watching World Now at 4 on Hills TV. Welcome back. Sri Lankans have been protesting for days near the president's office while they criticize a lack of progress in finding those responsible for the death of more than 260 people on Easter Sunday's bombing 3 years ago, piling pressure on the government already embroiled in a deep economic crisis. The protesters demanded the government uncover what they call the real conspirators behind the attacks on 3 churches, 2 Catholic and 1 Protestant, that included simultaneous suicide bombings during Easter celebrations on April 21, 2019. 3 tourist hotels were also targeted, killing 42 village foreigners and 14 countries. Hundreds of people lit candles and displayed banners and placards during a silent protest in the capital, Colombo, calling for justice for the victims of the attack. The demonstrations were held at Colombo's main esplanade, where thousands of people have been protesting for 8 days to demand the resignation of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa over the worst debt crisis that has caused critical shortages of fuel, food, and medicines in the Indian Ocean island nation. Meanwhile, protesters, including relatives of the victim, accused the government of failing to deliver justice for the bombings. Officials have charged dozens of people who allegedly received weapons trainings and participated in indoctrination classes from 2 local Muslim groups accused of carrying out the attacks, and the group had allegedly pledged allegiance to the ISIL, that is the ISIS group. Friction between the country's former president and former prime minister, who belonged to different political parties, was blamed for the failure to act on the intelligence warnings. And now to Iran, where the Iran president, Ebrahim Raisi, has warned Israel against making even the smallest movement against Iran. The remark came on Monday as the Iranian military displayed homegrown weapons and defense systems marking National Army Day. A large televised parade was organized on the occasion in the capital, Tehran, which was attended by Raisi and Iranian military officials. Iran fired missiles last month at a site in Erbil, the capital of northern Iraq's autonomous Kurdish region. Tehran claimed that the site was being used by Israel despite denials from the government of Erbil. In a message to the United States, Raisi referred to an acknowledgement by U.S. State Department spokesman Ned Price that former President Donald Trump's so-called maximum pressure campaign of harsh sanctions against Iran had failed to achieve its goal of subduing the country. Raisi's comments came as indirect negotiation with the U.S. to lift sanctions and restore the country's 2015 nuclear deal have stalled for weeks. The last major remaining sticking point in the negotiation appears to be overlifting the U.S. Foreign Terrorist Organization designation on the Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which is the IRGC. And now to China, where China has reported the death of 3 people from COVID in Shanghai for the first time since the financial hub entered lockdown in late March. A release from the City Health Commission said the victims were aged between 89 and 91 and were unvaccinated. The city is now due to enter another round of mass testing, which means a strict lockdown will continue into the 4th week for most residents. Until now, China had maintained that no one died of COVID in the city, a claim that has increasingly came into question. In a statement announcing the deaths, Shanghai's Health Commission said that the 3 people died in the hospital on Sunday despite full efforts to resuscitate them. It added that all 3 people had underlying health conditions. And since the discovery of an Omicron-led outbreak 3 weeks ago, the city has been under strict lockdown, which has angered residents. Millions have been confined to their homes, with anyone testing positive being sent to quarantine centers. In recent weeks, many have taken to social media to complain about the restrictions and lack of food supplies. Up next is business news on World Now at 4. Do stay with us. Welcome back to Business News on World Now at 4. Brent crude is now topping $113 a barrel as outages in Libya deepen concerns over tight global supply and the Ukraine crisis dragged on, offsetting concern over slowing Chinese demands. Adding to supply pressures from sanctions on Russia, Libya's National Oil Corps today warned a painful wave of closures had begun hitting its facilities and declared force majeure at Al Sharara oil field, and other sites. Brent crude, the global benchmark, rose 1.37 US dollars or 1.2% to 113 US dollars 7 pence, not far from the highest since March 30 of 113 US dollars 80 pence hit earlier in the session. US West Texas Intermediate gained at 1 US dollars 48 pence or 1.4% to 108.43 US dollars. The Libyan development offsets concerns about demands in China, where the economy slowed in March, taking the shine of first quarter growth numbers and worsening an outlook already weakened by COVID-19 curbs. According to data shown today by the World Bank, China refined 2% less oil in March than a year earlier, with throughout falling to the lowest since October as the surge in crude prices squeezed margins and tight lockdowns hurt demand. Still in the news, World Bank is reducing its global growth forecast for 2022 by nearly a full percentage point to 3.2% from 4.1% due to the impact of Russia's invasion on Ukraine. World Bank President David Malpass said this on Monday when he told newsmen in a conference call that the World Bank was responding to the added economic stress from the war by proposing a new 15-month crisis financing target of 170 billion US dollars with a goal to commit about 50 billion US dollars of this financing over the next 3 months. Malpass said the biggest component of the bank's growth forecast reduction was a 4.1% contraction in the Europe and Central Asian region comprising Ukraine, Russia, and surrounding countries. Forecasts also show that there have been cuts of advanced and many developing economies because of spikes in food and energy prices caused by war-related supply disruptions. And now to China, where China's consumer spending fell and unemployment rose last month as COVID lockdowns confined millions of people to their homes, according to official figures. Joblessness reached the highest level since the early part of the pandemic. A surge in infections has triggered lockdowns in several major cities, including the financial, manufacturing, and shipping hub of Shanghai. However, overall, the country's economy grew at a faster pace than expected in the first 3 months of the year. Retail sales fell by 3.5% in March compared to a year earlier, and China's national
My name is Joel Idajile, the winner of Naija Boss Factor Season 1. I just want to say I'm so excited because, wow, this is a very big thing that has happened to me. And concerning this Season 2 that is coming, I'm just telling you, those that are going to be competing, bring in your A game. This is not something you come casually. Come with your A game, come for it. Like, and Season 2 is up. Those of you that didn't enroll, I'm sorry, you have missed out big time. You scammed yourself. You think they were trying to scam you, but you scammed yourself. Thank you.
So, Boss FM 95.5, Abuja carry this one. Say if you sabi sing, you sabi rap, you dey
It happened last year when we had 7 finalists vying for the grand prize, M Grand 7 2021 model worth 11 million.
Good evening and welcome to Sports News on World Now at 4. I'm Richard Badung. On the news on sports, Omega Spikers and Cabo Starlets emerged winners of the maiden edition of the Legend of the Sand volleyball tournaments in the male and female categories. Both teams walked away with a cash prize of 250,000 naira each after triumphing in their respective categories. The Kings and the Prince came second and third in the male category, and they were also rewarded with prize money of 150,000 naira and 100,000 naira respectively. In the female category, ASO and Defenders emerged second and third respectively, and were also rewarded the prize of 150,000 naira and 100,000 naira respectively. Still talking sports, Super Eagles goalkeeper Carl Ikeme trained with Premier League club Wolverhampton Wanderers. The club made this known via a series of tweets on its Twitter handle on Sunday. This is coming. In July 2017, Ikeme was diagnosed with the disease after returning for Wolverhampton Wanderers pre-season ahead of the 2017-2018 season. Treatment, he was in complete remission, but the disease ended his football career and denied him a place at the 2018 World Cup in Russia. Ikeme made his debut for the Super Eagles in 2018 and soon became the first choice goalkeeper following the retirement of goalkeeper Vincent Enyama. Britain's Joe Salisbury backed up the achievements of becoming doubles world #1 by US partner Rajiv Ram. The top seeds beat 6th seeds Juan Sebastian Cabal and Robert Farah of Colombia 6-4, 3-6, 10-7 in a clinical display. Salisbury excelled both at the net and with overheads, ably a title as a pairing. And that's sports news on World Now at 4. I am Richard Badung. Over to Peace for the rest of the news.
You're welcome back. And that's World Now at 4. But before we go, a quick look at the headline. We also told you the South African flood toll has risen to 443, while dozens are still missing. Also, World Bank is to cut global growth and boost financing targets. And on sport, Arsenal is leading race to sign Osimhen. Remember to follow us on Facebook at Hills TV, on Instagram at Hills TV, and our YouTube channel is Hills TV. I am Peace Ogenegbawe. Thank you for watching.